Welcome Uh-oh, I'm frozen again. Is it me or is it my connection? You can tell me. You guys, here we are at a brand new HorrorBuzz Live. We have a really cool show tonight. Lindsay and I are going to be covering the entertainment beat. Of course, we've obviously had some gigantic news in regards to a certain midsummer something. And yeah, I mean, there's stuff blowing up all over the place because the world is coming back to life. So thank goodness. So if you like what you see, please like and subscribe. If you like the frozen screenshot that you see before you, please like and subscribe. Um, and please follow us on Twitter, follow us on Insta, Facebook, and if you really love us, follow us on Patreon. And you know what? We're just going to bring Lindsay in here now because she's amazing. So fluff your hair, Lindsay. Let's go. Ready? Okay.
Give
There
me
we
I'm
are.
like trying to brush my hair off camera, like you sell me down the river like that. Gosh.
I didn't do anything down any rivers at all.
Fine. Well, all right. Well, on to things that don't involve me and my appearance. I got to go to I got to go to Cauldron, the Cauldron this
Ah,
weekend, and you guys, if you haven't been there recently, you need to go. Their menu right now is just there's these sliders that are to die for,
okay. Which
and
are they
the
new?
Grey Witch cocktail. I don't think so. I had two because one was not enough, and one is a chicken and waffles, which I believe has been there for a while.
No, that's
Chicken and waffle.
that's
Oh, okay, so
that's
that one's
newish.
new. So the chicken and waffle slider is brand new then. Check it
Okay.
out. It's this little piece of fried chicken and these two waffles. The waffles are done so perfectly and the chicken is so it just the whole thing, and it comes with this like maple syrup sauce. And then of course I had the croissant breakfast sandwich sliders, which I believe are not new. So those were delicious, and of course, the Grey Witch cocktail has been haunting me since I've had it, and everybody should go try it. It's gin based for all my gin fans out there. It's amazing. And of course, the atmosphere. Who doesn't love some spooky atmosphere?
Seriously, I'm all about the. I go for the Sazeracs or the old fashions. So those
Classy? I
are.
didn't know you were classy like that.
Oh no, I'm classy with a K. It's fine. So, so, can you tell us what is going on in entertainment this week, in horror entertainment this
Oh
week?
my gosh. Okay, the list is literally too long. We could have an entire HorrorBuzz Live dedicated to events only. That's how much stuff is going on in general. So let's just dive right in. Let's start with our films. We have four films that we're focusing on this week that are coming out. Coming out today. It is now available today on digital and DVD. We have Whoa. This is about a brother and sister, and they stumble on their father's secret 1 year after his passing. And they learn that the secret is pretty hefty, and things kind of unravel from there. Very mysterious, very spooky, very dark. So that's out today on digital and DVD. This Thursday, June 17th, we have The Super Deep. That's coming to Shudder. And now this is a mouthful, so get ready. The Cola Super Deep Borehole, my nickname in college. Just kidding. It's the most large-scale secret object in the country. And in 1984, there were some inexplicable sounds like screams coming from this borehole. And in the wake of these events, the object was closed, couldn't visit, couldn't see it, whatever. And a small research team goes, and you could probably imagine what happens from there. So that's the Super Deep, and that's coming to Shudder. This Friday, we have two films. We have Gaia, which is an injured forest ranger, and she's on a routine mission saved by two off the grid survivalists. Starts off very sunny and then gets very dark when their cabin is attacked by some strange beings. So that comes out June 18th as a limited release, and then June 25th video on demand. So if you can find a theater that's running it, you feel free to see it this Friday. Otherwise, wait till June 5th. And rounding out films, we have Spencer. I mentioned this one last week. It is about a film censor named Enid, and she takes pride in making sure she protects the masses from anything too gory. And she realizes that a lot of the things she's seeing recently mimic her very violent, sad, mysterious past. So things kind of start to unravel for her there. So that came out last week on a limited release, and it will be a full video on demand release this Friday. Now, on to our events. There are so many, but I'm just going to head out right out of the gate with a couple heavy hitters. So, of course, we still have some tickets available for our 2021 Screaming Room Film Festival. Midsummer was canceled, but the movie fun continues. It's going to be July 10th and 11th at the Frida Cinema. We're going to be running so many wonderful films that didn't get to appear this year at the 2021 Midsummer Scream or at 2020 Midsummer Scream. So it's really, really quality content. You guys are going to love the blocks that have been put together. It's really going to be an amazing time. Tickets are $40 for the 2 days, and they are available on Midsummer Scream's website. And we also, in the spirit of Pride Month, so happy Pride Month, all of my lovelies out there, we have Murder House Productions and Twisted Haunts LA. They've teamed up and they've come up with an incredible event, you guys. I'm so excited for this. It is a horror pride pop-up, and it's 4 nights long, and it's called Shook. It's a free roaming haunt, and it's self-guided, and you can go into a world of horror icons that you know and love in the queer horror community. And tickets are on sale now, and the event is going to be held at Murder House Productions in Arlington Heights. It's from 8 to 11 p.m. on June 18th, 19th, 25th, and 26th. And their little tagline, and I took this directly from their website because I thought it was so funny. It's you'll be gagged, gooped, and Baba Shook, mama. So if that doesn't give you a taste of the vibe of the event, then I don't know, but it just sounds incredible. So the tickets are timed, and I have to warn you guys, the event is already almost sold out. Only the 10 to 11 time block on June 19th, 25th, and 26th are available. So make sure you get those fingers clacking at 7:31 after HorrorBuzz Live is done, and grab your tickets while you can. The tickets are available on eventbrite.com. You can search for Shook Twisted Pride of Horrors. And rounding out our announcements, I mentioned our pairing with Midsummer Scream. Well, Midsummer Scream has decided that they aren't done with their announcing because they have officially released their intention to have a event called Awaken the Spirits on August 14th and 15th, 2021, and it's happening at the Pasadena Convention Center. So it's not Midsummer Scream, it's its own brand new event. And it's going to feature lots of vendors. We're talking like over 200. It's going to have live entertainment. We don't know exactly what kind, but we know it's going to be awesome. And we're going to have stage presentations. You heard that right. Stage presentations where people are going to learn about what's in store for Halloween 2021. We're going to see something from LA Haunted Hayride, from Delusion, Six Flags, Winchester Mystery House, and that's just the beginning because the announcements on who's going to be there and who's going to be announcing things is going to keep rolling out. Tickets go on sale tomorrow, Wednesday, June 16th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. You know, and I know this event is going to sell out. So be ready at 10 a.m. to snatch up a ticket because this is an event that you do not want to miss. So that's what we've got.
Yeah. Okay. Like you said, we could do an entire show on everything coming out this week. It's like, it's a little ridiculous. And I like your line about get those fingers clacking, just like those heels for the Shook. So, you know, just get it because I'm already getting to go. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And I do have a confession. I don't get the connection between the queer community and Babadook. I'm sorry, I don't. But I will also confess what's worse. I don't like the Babadook.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I do think that it was a good film, but I was like, okay, what? I mean, it was fine. and it was beautifully made. And Jennifer Kent, I mean, you need to see The Nightingale. That was her follow-up, and that will destroy you. But the Babadook, so
there's literally an article, folks, about why the Babadook is a queer horror icon.
I'm sure. Okay, where can we find it? Can you post the link
yes.
or? Okay.
I will give you the link and then you can post it. Give it a read. It's about the story of hardship, endurance, and queer protest, and they go into it. And there's reasons. I don't know if they're.
I mean, I want to know. I mean, I'm a member of the queer community. I want to know, but I'm just kind of like, I don't know. I mean,
I gave you the link. Drop it in there for everybody. Everybody, give it a read. Let us know what you think.
Give it a read, like that library that is open. So, also, the Awaken the Spirits event. Obviously, HorrorBuzz is going to be there. We are crazy excited for that. And you know, the screaming room became such a big thing over the pandemic interim that we decided, okay, let's do this whole film festival on its own. So those things are ready, you know, and ready to be, just come, because it's going to be a huge weekend of fun and scary movies and burgeoning talent in the horror community. And it's going to be so much fun. We even have, speaking of Pride Month, we even have a block called Screaming Rainbow. So I'm just saying. So it's going to be good. Also speaking of, don't forget, kids, that our Pride wear is still on sale.
Look at that.
Right? I got mine and they came out great. They're fabulous. So make sure to nab your HorrorBuzz Pride gear right now. Even the masks, swear to God, just in time for the mask mandate to go away. So, finally, speaking of that film, Whoa, I got to see it. And yeah, it's good. It's really good. It surprised me. Well, you know what? I think what we need to do, I don't know, maybe we ought to bring in somebody who knows a little bit more about the film. You think?
Who would that be?
I don't know. Maybe the writer-director Matthew Goodhue. Hi, Matthew. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much for popping by and coming on.
Yeah, I just happened to be hanging out and figured come and stop on by.
Oh my God, who's at the door? So, your film Whoa came out today on VOD in theaters or VOD?
Just VOD. Theaters would be exciting. VOD is very exciting, regardless. Well, but yeah, just VOD for now.
Getting your movie out there is exciting, but
I know.
You know, it's so. As I said before, I got to see it, and it's really good. Matthew, can you maybe give us a little synopsis about the film and what it's about?
Yeah. I know Lindsay mentioned up front, but the movie is about a brother and sister who have lost their father. And the film starts a year after his death. And the family, they have not dealt with the grief of his death or dealt with any of the mental illness that kind of plagues the family. So the movie really follows these two characters, the brother and sister, as they begin to learn things about their father that they didn't know, and also, begin to realize that they had a lot in common with him and are doing a lot of the same things that he did in terms of ignoring, the maybe mental illness or the pressures that we tend to avoid.
Yeah. And how did I found this film to be very, not so much terror. It's not the jump scare type of film. But I found this film to be true horror in that it goes to places and kind of resides and kind of stays in places that are uncomfortable and that are uneasy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, totally. I think when I started writing, I don't know. For me, when I watch movies and I think about my favorite movies, I'm not always able to explain or think about what the story fully was. I usually remember characters and I remember little moments. So with this film, that's what we wanted to focus on. We wanted to create interesting characters, put the audience in these intimate, uncomfortable moments with them as they struggle with something that they don't know how to express. So as an audience member, a difficult thing about the movie is trying to make a film about characters that can't talk about their problems. So in order to do that, we try to create these scenarios where a character, is often alone. And with how we film it, with kind of the color palette of the film, we tried to essentially create a sense of dread and foreboding and kind of hopelessness as these characters just continue to not connect with each other because there's something in the way. And then the horror element that kind of comes in is that thing that is in the way of them connecting is the manifestation of the depression and the mental illness and anxiety and all that stuff kind of combined. And we showcase that in this creature that essentially stalks two of the lead characters.
Yeah, and it's very interesting that you bring the character up because it's what would you call it? A creature, a being, an entity?
Yeah, we referred to him as the Hunchback. It definitely isn't just one thing. We thought it really embodied kind of all of the things and the voices in your head that tell you like you're not enough, you're not good enough, anything that is bringing you down and makes you feel alone. That's kind of what this big hunched, cloaked, dark figure
with ruby red eyes.
With ruby red eyes. Yeah, we had to do red eyes. We talked about maybe trying different color eyes, but red just seemed to be the most menacing.
Well, aside from it being the best color, yes, it is
Red's
the most
color.
Yeah. We have the brother, and I'm terrible with names. Please forgive me.
No
I
problem.
mean, but we have the brother who has stayed at the house and is repairing everything and getting ready for the funeral. We have the sister who is kind of trying to move on. And she is even attempting to sell the dad's car that plays a key role. And then we have her significant other,
fiance,
who is playing a moderator, basically. So, I mean, really, do these characters play any sort of were they modeled after any sort of an archetype that you've come in contact with, or do they speak to any personal experiences that you might have had?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think the brother and sister character, I looked at them as two different ways that a person can deal with their mental health. Charlie, who is staying in the house that they grew up in, basically is just a workaholic and tries to work his way through everything. The house seems to come undone as he's working on it. It's a little unclear if it's actually happening or is he just making this project be an endless project because it's essentially tied to himself and tied to his self-worth. And if he doesn't have this, what does he have? And with Betty, who is separate from the house, but on paper, she's doing everything she's supposed to do. She's about to get married. There's a reveal at the end that I won't give away, but it's the things that you feel you're expected to do, yet she feels completely empty, even though she's checking all those things off. She's checking the boxes off of all those things. So for her, she is sort of silently avoiding the mental health issues and struggles that she personally has, just by moving as she thinks she's supposed to be doing. And then our fiance character, played by Ryan Katner, who had a difficult job because most scenes that he is in, no character is kind of giving him anything. He is stuck between this brother and sister trying to bring them together, and neither of them have the tools or are capable of asking for help. And this character wants to help them. I think he's just struggling to know how.
Yeah, it was funny / painful to watch him working through trying to talk to them and, you know, working through their pain, and then even dealing with the hornet's nest. And I was just like, this poor guy, you know, he's going through it. So, you know, I found it to be something that I identified with.
Yeah.
Were there any, it's a heavy movie, but were there any anecdotes from the set that, I mean, what was the atmosphere on set?
I mean, we had a really nice time. I did. I hope other people did. You know, I think everybody knew, you know, this is a small movie. We shot it in 13 days. We didn't have a lot of time or resources. I really just tried to reach out to people that I admired, whether it's their work or, you know, recommendations from a friend of a friend, and tried to bring people together who understood what we were trying to say. I think everybody knew that, you know, the hours were going to be long, the pay wasn't be great, but we wanted to tell a story that we felt was pretty relevant. It seems like, you know, everything is about mental health these days, and it can kind of get annoying, and you can get bashed over the head about how you're supposed to meditate and whatever, do all these things and take care of your mental health. But like at the end of the day, that stuff is really, really important. And I know the horror genre has dealt with mental health. A lot of the times it's really exaggerated. And I do like those movies, but like depression and anxiety and mental health doesn't always look like the Babadook, as you mentioned, or the Joker. You know, with this movie, even though we do have a creature and monster in it, we wanted the characters to be very real. So I, you know, essentially sat down with all of our crew kind of individually while we were trying to get everybody together, and just laid out, you know, kind of the feeling of the movie and what we were trying to convey through the story. And luckily people, you know, responded to it. And, you know, I think mental health and mental illness affects everybody in some way. So the folks that were interested and ended up working on the movie, you know, were impacted by it in some way or another. And I think, you know, decided and agreed to be on this project to try to make something that, you know, was different and special. And hopefully if somebody watches it, they kind of can walk away feeling like asking for help isn't a bad thing. It isn't weakness.
No, it isn't.
So,
it really
yeah.
isn't. And one of my favorite quiet moments, I mean, it wasn't necessarily a quiet moment, but it was the moment where he was cutting the wood and she was at the car. And I'm not trying, I'm trying very carefully not to give away what set the whole situation up, but there was a palpable tension between the two characters and what was trying to happen. And yeah, I found that to be very interesting.
Cool. I'm glad. That was a difficult scene to film in terms of just trying to get it right. Especially, you know, that's the only scene in the movie that those two characters look at each other. So we tried, how do we convey on either side, from Betty's point of view, from Charlie's point of view, what they're feeling without any words and just by looking at each other. And there's kind of commotion going on around them, and neither of them, you know, both of them are essentially able to tune that out and just kind of laser focus on each other without saying any words. But I feel like with siblings, with family, a lot of times so many things can be transmitted just by kind of body language and being with that other person. It can be really difficult to talk to the people that we are closest with about the things that are hurting us. That's probably why a lot of people can speak to a therapist who like isn't your mom or your friend. You can tell them some things that you can't tell, even the person that is closest with you. So in that scene, that's kind of what we were trying to do.
Well, you got it right. So you did very well with that scene. I think that was one of my favorite scenes.
Thank you.
And so last question. Oh God, there's so many questions. Okay. 2 questions. Why the title Whoa?
That's a good question. So it kind of came about randomly. The first beginnings of this movie, it was sort of like a road movie. It was going to be Charlie and Benjamin like driving a lot. That didn't end up happening. The story changed. But while I was trying to come up with titles for that story, Way Out East was one that I kind of liked. And I just wrote WOE, Way Out East. And then I looked at it and I was like, oh shit, this movie, this is what we're dealing with, sort of the woeful feeling, the feeling of sorrow that feels impossible to work through. So I wrote it on the script and sort of left it there. And for me, I really like one word titles. I don't even know why. I just think if you can find one word that kind of summarizes what you're trying to put out there, it can be really impactful and powerful. So we kind of just stuck with that. And yeah.
Awesome. So final question, you got a movie out there. You got a movie made. It's there. And it's out there for people to enjoy. So what is your advice? What is your advice to other indie filmmakers?
Totally. I mean, I'm sure I'm still learning so much and trying to figure out how to continue to do this. And I'm sure, I listen to horror podcasts. I listen to podcasts about movies, about writing. Those things are so important and helpful. But, at some point you do need to do. And for a long time, I was kind of waiting to get permission to be a filmmaker, waiting to get permission to make a movie. I think a lot of people move to Los Angeles thinking that you move here and somebody will knock on your door and say, hey, like, we've been waiting for you, go make your thing. Fortunately, that doesn't happen. Mark Duplass, the director and writer and actor who's amazing, has this famous speech from, I think, South by Southwest, where he basically says, the cavalry is not coming. Like, these people are not coming and asking you to make your movie. You just got to do it. And it's the lamest advice because it doesn't, I think a lot of the times you're listening to these how-tos or you're listening to people talk about writing and you're waiting for that little nugget that makes everything click and you're ready to go. Unfortunately, I don't think that exists. It's really just about, if you're passionate about movies, about music, about poetry, about painting, whatever it is, it's like, figure out a way to do it. If you are really excited about an idea, other people will be too. If you figure out a way to convey that to them and to try to speak to people who are also trying to do this, people want to be a part of interesting projects. So, it's like losing the fear of failure because it's always going to be there, and just going for it, kind of doing whatever you can to make it happen, and gets like a good night's sleep and go on lots of walks. I found that helps.
Well, okay. I enjoy talking to you, but I have to go make a movie.
Go right now, please. Like, seriously, don't wait for anybody, man. Mark
Duplass. I mean, come on. He's amazing.
I mean, he's sort of an incredible model of what you can do, and his work. He's become a much bigger thing than just an independent filmmaker. But what's so exciting about a person like him and Lena Wythe is just like those people champion other filmmakers, and that's, I think, how you keep this thing going. You just try to let people and young people know, or even if you're an older person that hasn't made a movie and you want to, it's like, You can do it, man. Go
Yeah.
figure it out. Just keep writing and go for it.
You saw Safety Not Guaranteed, of course.
Yeah, it's a great
God,
one.
that movie's
So
so good.
Yeah.
You should also try to catch, it's not horror, but you should try to catch the 40-year-old version.
I haven't watched that yet.
On Netflix.
The watch list continues to grow, and it seems like as I get older, it's less time to watch things. But yeah, that one's on there. As well as Censor, which Lindsay mentioned earlier, which I've heard is really, really great.
Yeah, we reviewed that for Sundance
awesome.
earlier this year, and it was phenomenal. So
cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that one.
Matthew, thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for talking about film, and thank you for creating. We're here to support our indie filmmakers and our indie horror filmmakers, and we're just very happy to be here to support you.
That means so much. Really appreciate it. It was so nice to meet you guys.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, keep watching good stuff. And thank you guys
right.
for doing this. This is like important and gets the word out there. It's really helpful.
Absolutely. Everybody go and rent Whoa right now. I've disappeared, but I've gone to audio with Kyle Face. And that's a good image. Yeah. I drew that in like 2 seconds. All right, dude. Thank you so much, Matthew.
Thanks a lot.
And best of luck with your film.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right, take care. So here we are with Kyle Face and Lindsay.
And my face.
It's come to this.
You've never looked better.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, listen, Lindsay, thank you so much for being on this. And again, thank you, Matthew, for being a part of the show. Please watch his film, Whoa. It just came out. It's a nice slow burn of a movie, and you need to see it. And any last words, Lindsay?
Nope. I just feel super, super inspired after Matthew's speech about I even literally wrote down his quote. So everybody get your pens, waiting to get permission. Do not wait to get permission to make a movie. Write it down, put it on your wall, live by it. If you got a dream, make it happen. Don't wait for permission.
Just go. You've got an iPhone, you can make a damn movie. Go. So there. All right, kids.
So there.
Get the hints. We'll expect concepts, and let's see here. We'll accept proof of concepts next week. And there you go. So everybody, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the fog.